You're watching the New York Giants Fan Show on Fan Media Network. I'm your host, Zachary Wilson, and today we are going to discuss the events surrounding the Giants training camp over the past few weeks, along with a couple of important players who have made their return from the PUP list and the team's first upcoming preseason game against the New York Jets this coming Saturday. And joining us today is local Giants fan, Sean Soricelli. So Sean, thank you for coming, and let's get down to business. All good. So let's get down to business and start off with talking about how the Giants have had quite an interesting few weeks to begin their training camp for this upcoming season. It's been quite a show to watch.
I mean, it has, and I've been hearing about, Daniel Jones and Kenny Galladay struggling, which has probably much has been my only worry about the Giants' training camp is DJ and Kenny Galladay not getting on the same page. But I got a feeling by the end of preseason, we'll start seeing them more in work by the time season actually comes around. I know it's going to be hard for Kenny Galladay to adjust to a new team and a new playbook, guaranteed it, because I know he didn't play most of 2020 after his injury because he wanted to save his free agency value. That's why he actually didn't really play. A lot of people want to blame this hamstring injury, but we all know he could have continued playing for Detroit, but he wanted to, save up his free agency value. So I'm hoping that him and Kenny Galladay can definitely get off on a right foot before the Broncos opener.
I guess when you put it that way, like free agency value, I mean, like if you continue to play, I mean, he would have gotten more yards and TDs than he did last season. And I know it's going to be hard this preseason because we know that he just came down with a hamstring strain just last week during training camp. And apparently it wasn't really a pretty pass from Daniel Jones, but it's good. It's not bad enough that he's going to be out for like too many weeks, like other players are, like the Colts with their stars along with the Saints. But hopefully soon enough, maybe by the end of training camp, Kenny Galladay does come back and need to apparently establish that connection with Daniel Jones as soon as possible.
He does, but I honestly don't think this injury is going to hinder any progress with Kenny Galladay. It may put him out for maybe possibly the next few weeks of training camp, but as long as we have him back before the season opener, I think it'd just be a great thing for the Giants because, yeah, they could use some more work, but we signed him for a reason to this. I think it was a $72 million contract. He needs to be able to play starting week one, and if he doesn't, then that contract would have been a waste of money because we can't afford to have a receiver that's getting paid $72 million a year or whatnot, or in total, just to go out and not play the season opener.
Yeah, you get him leading a bunch of weapons for the Giants this upcoming season. You get Kadarius Toney in there. You get Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton. We haven't really seen too much progress out of them. We haven't heard their names called too much during this training camp, but it is hopeful that they will make a stride too. And if not them, then you need a running game there, and that's where it comes into this next piece of news with Saquon Barkley just recently being called back from the PUP list after he missed 14 games last season due to an ACL injury at Chicago. He is back, ready to take things slow, according to Joe Judge. And I think that this is a good call because you need one of the best running backs in the NFL to be at his game and provide for a Giants offense that did not have a good game during the season last year.
That I do agree with. When I woke up, I think it was yesterday, and I saw the news that Saquon Barkley was finally activated off of the PUP list, I was happy because I've been following Saquon since he's been drafted as a Giant, and I just love the progress he's made. And it's one of the things I keep trying to tell people is Saquon Barkley is once in a generation talent, and I see so many so-called Giant fans sitting here saying that they want Saquon Barkley gone, that he's a bust, but they don't understand that running back like Saquon, he's hard to come by. Someone with his kind of speed, his strength. He's just not your average running back like Ezekiel Elliott or Dalvin Cook. He's like on that tier of Derrick Henry. They're both two different beasts that are hard to down. And with Saquon being healthy, I can't wait, but I just don't think we'll be seeing any main action from him until probably the last week of preseason. Is by the time we'll probably start seeing him actually take some hits.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, right now he is engaged in individual drills at training camp, which again I say is a good call, so he doesn't like get too quickly back into action. And of course, you get Alfred Morris there once again with the Giants, just in case anything does happen to Barkley again. So you hope. I mean, Joe Judge did point out that he could possibly make at least one preseason game appearance whether it's this upcoming weekend, whether it's against Cleveland or whether it's against the Patriots. It could be any game, but he does need to get some more action in as well, along with the rest of his team. So hopefully we will be able to see that. In any case, he wasn't unsure about whether or not he would start this regular season, but with him making this progress, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if he's able to start the regular season.
I mean, I honestly think he is. We've seen Barkley before when he got hurt back in 2019 when he had that high ankle sprain from when he did the jump over the hurdle over the defender. That injury, from what I'm understanding, is usually about a 6-week injury, so you're usually out for about 6 games. He came back within 3 and actually started running again. Saquon Barkley overall, he's just a different person. He's built different. He can, he'll take a hit and he can get back up. It just really depends on the person, but we've seen Barkley be able to come back fully healed from a ankle sprain in less than 3 weeks. And he came back, I think it was the 3rd or 4th game when he actually started running. I don't know if he had over 100 yards that game, but it's like he never injured himself at all. And I know Barkley was talking about that he's, only looking day to day right now. So he's not sure about if he'll make it to the season opener, but let's be realistic here. We all know he's eyeing that season opener. He has it circled on his date that he wants to be suited up and on the field by the time September arrives. So I think Barkley is going to be on the field by the season opener and ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I have no doubt that he's once again going to make a big season performance since his rookie year, probably even contend for that comeback player of the year along with players like Nick Bosa. We'll see what happens. So as we continue to talk about training camp as well, one event really did shock Giants fans, Giants staff, and a lot of other probably people around the area last week before Barkley came back. That huge scuffle that occurred between some weapons and Daniel Jones being underneath it all as he claims to be sticking with the team. I mean, shocking a lot of players, but disappointing Joe Judge. I mean, I was really shocked as well to see how that type of chemistry was distorted for a short time.
I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised that a brawl happened. It's been happening. If you look, I think 5 or 6 other teams in the next couple of days have brawls. I know the Raiders, I believe, were one of them too. But I'm gonna go based off the way. I'm trying to remember exactly what Michael Irvin was talking about, but having a brawl on the first day of training camp, it's not a bad sign. It's not the chemistry going. But these guys are ready. They're like Evan Ingram and the O-line. They're there to protect their quarterback. They're showing that they're not going to allow anybody to hurt their quarterback, and that Daniel Jones, they're going to do whatever it takes to make sure Daniel Jones is safe. Now, I know Daniel Jones joined in. He joined in. Like, the reason why he was at the bottom was because, obviously he was trying to break everything up, but because it's his team, he's going to get in there. Most quarterbacks usually stand on the side, and they'll just sit there and let the coaches figure it out. No, Daniel Jones got into the pile and started getting involved because as the quarterback, that's what he should be doing. And he's showing not just the fans, but the team that no matter what happens, he's always going to be there, and he won't be standing off to the side. And that's one of the feelings why that I think that Jones will be the franchise quarterback. I think he's going to pop off in his 3rd year. He's finally got weapons around him. He's got a more solid offense than he did his first 2 seasons. He's got Joe Judge returning and Jason Garrett. And with Daniel Jones just sitting there going into the pile instead of just letting the teammates fight it out themselves, it just solidifies himself as a leader and showing that the team won't go through, whatever happens alone, and that he'll always be there with them, whether it's discipline or not. He's going to be there.
Yeah, so they're going to really show that aggression that they had last week and probably channel it into a better thing, probably starting with this upcoming weekend. So we got time for one last question. The Giants and the Jets in their first preseason game this upcoming weekend, Saturday at MetLife Stadium. What do you expect out of both teams, especially the Giants, about how they're going to play their starters at first and then play the rest of their bench throughout the rest of the game?
I'm expecting the Giants to play their starters in the first quarter, and probably that's about it. Maybe into the second quarter, but I highly doubt it, to be honest with you. I think at this point it's going to be one of those things where the Giants will take it week by week like every NFL team does. The first 2 preseason games, you probably won't see much of starter action. And then by the 3rd one, you'll probably see the starters take the field for a majority of the game to get these warm-ups in before the actual season, since we don't have 4 anymore. We have the 3, and then I think it's like a break or whatever before then, because we got the 3 games and then the extended schedule.
Yeah,
but I just think that, I expect the Giants starters to be rusty at first. I'm not going to lie because, it's been a couple months since then. So I'm not expecting a huge game from the Giants starters, but I expect it to be maybe a slow and rusty start between the whole team with the new weapons and additions and everything. But for the Jets, I'm not even sure how well it's going to work for them, especially with them getting a young quarterback as Zach Wilson in. And I just don't think the Jets are going to be that much competitive of a team this year, even into the regular season, just for the fact that, they're just so young, but they don't really have any studs around Zach Wilson or much protection for him, as we saw with what happened with Sam Darnold as the Jets quarterback. I think Giants could probably win against the Jets this week, but I wouldn't expect it either, depending on how the backups play once the starters go out and are benched.
Well, I do expect Kadarius Toney to probably have a little more time than the rest of the starters from the start of Saturday's game. So that will do it for us for today. Thanks to Sean Soricelli for coming in. That's all you need to know That's all you need to know for Giants this week. Don't forget, once again, their preseason game week 1 against the Jets, Saturday, 7 o'clock, 7:30 at MetLife Stadium. And I'll be back next week to recap this upcoming weekend and to put a preview on next weekend. Once again, Sean Soricelli joining me today for the New York Giants Fan Show on Fan Media Network. Thank you, everybody else. This is Zach Wilson. So long, and enjoy the rest of your week.
To host a fan show or appear as a fan on a fan show, create a profile in Fan Media Network. Then look for the news page in our website and fan show resources page. Help yourself. We give show hosts a show graphic in team colors, a simple short show format, tips on pre- and post-production, ideas to get fans and guests on your show, Apple News distribution, and show sponsorship sales and services to help featured show hosts earn money. Show hosts use our iPhone app to publish their shows. Our website supports Android users.